welcome back to the Money Goddess podcast. I'm your host, Jasmine Thomas Bridges, and I am in another piece of an episode that I had to add in. I was talking all about reinventing yourself, and listen, it's a lot that goes into reinventing yourselves. And what I want to share with you about being a high value woman, this is going to change your life. This is a part of what I think a lot of people who show up on platforms are talking about high value. They are talking about external things, and they're not really telling you what could be stopping you that you're not even aware of. The number one thing you can do to become a high value woman is to watch who you're around. That's right. Your environment. I don't care how hyper independent you are. I don't care how much of a go-getter you've always been. Your friends are the problem as to why you are not a high value woman. Okay, if you're not, that is what is going on. And even if you are a high value woman, I want you to really have the opportunity to look at your friend circle. And we're going to talk about all of this in more detail as we go throughout this. You guys, this is like one of my favorite topics because I am currently going through a season where I'm working through and deciding who I want to really be friends with, who is going up on my friendship ladder, who might be going down. And that's okay because it doesn't mean anything bad about them. It doesn't mean anything bad about me. I am focused on where I'm going and where I'm heading that's going to propel me forward in my life. And if I feel that someone is not helping me to grow and get to where I want to be, I am going to go ahead and do what I need to do. Hello, everyone coming in. I see you all in the chat. Welcome, welcome. I have just shared the high value woman is watching her environment. She is watching her friends. She is watching the influence, okay? If you are trying and working on becoming the most valuable version of yourself, let me know down in the chat. I'm happy to have you all. Yes, that means y'all are ready. You are ready to grow. You are ready to elevate. You are not going to move forward. So again, everyone, I'm Jasmine Thomas Bridges, the Money Goddess. Happy to have you all here. So let's get into it. Listen, there are less people at the top for a reason. I want you to think about a pyramid, okay? As you move up that pyramid, notice it gets smaller and smaller. At the bottom, there's a lot of room. But once you get to the top, it's not many that can get up there with you. I want you to think about your life as a pyramid. I want you to think about your friend groups as a pyramid, because a high value woman is surrounding herself with everything she could ever want, including the people in her life. Now, there are less people up there. I used to be a person that did not believe that. I thought, oh, they say it gets lonely at the top, but you can have a bunch of friends. I'm a social person. How many of you all have experienced as you've gotten older, your seasons have changed, that you've noticed your friend groups have also changed? I'm sure some of you all have experienced that. To be a high value woman, you are going to have to recognize where people belong. Yes. You have to be able to look and see, okay, listen, I'm elevating. If I'm going to get on this plane and ascend, I'm going to have to really think about who I want around me and who can go on this plane with me, because I only have so much weight to carry. Who is weighing you down? Who is not picking you up? And it's not to say that we don't help our friends, of course. If you clicked on this, you probably are already high value. You're just looking to beef it up a little bit more. But I want you to really evaluate your current friendships. This is going to help you increase your value. Evaluate those current friendships that you have. It's a couple of steps. So number one, I want you to get out your journal. If you are tuning into this, if you have the opportunity, I would recommend draw out a pyramid on a sheet of paper. At the bottom of this pyramid, that is going to be the people you know, your associates, affiliates, different people that you are just excited about. You're learning, building friendships. Then I want you to look at the next level, move up. Okay, maybe these are just friends. Maybe these are people you go out and you hang with. I want you to think about all of those people. Then the pyramid is getting smaller at the top, okay? Next, I want you to think about who are your closer friends that you have. Okay? These are the people that have your back if something happens in your life. They are there for you. And then you might even want to have something at the very, very top, which might be, your spouse, your kids, things of that nature. So I want you to really consider who is in this space and move those people accordingly. If you've had people in that closer friend that has not really shown up for you or isn't really checking in or reaching out on you as you are going through things, maybe they need to move down to the bottom. This is up to you. You get to decide how your pyramid looks. Now, I don't want you to think that means that you aren't doing your part as a friend. But if you have found yourself always kind of doing a lot with your friendships, you're always having to be the one to check in, then maybe you need to accept people for who they are and be willing to move on from having those particular friends in your life. They might not have the best influence on you. They might not be helping you to become that better version. They could be holding you back. It could be shady comments that people are making. It's a lot of things that we have to really say, okay, is this going to move me forward in my life? Now, I'll also say that we get very comfortable sometimes with the people that we know or always have known. I know some people, they keep the same friends from, high school, and they go into their 40s and they're like, I'm still going to be friends with these people. Listen, I'm not saying that you can't go on with those people, but sometimes people outgrow one another. And you have to be willing to allow whatever relationships to fall off, let them fall off, because you are going to miss out on room for the right people to come into your lives. Now, let me tell you something about high value. I don't know how many of you all are familiar with the show that Tia Mowry just kind of came out with. And I was listening to another YouTuber talk about this, and this is about high value, okay? The friends that Tia Mowry had on her show were, to me, not high value women. And I say this because they pushed her to be out there as a middle-aged woman doing things that young women in their 20s do. That's not a high value friend. So you have to decide, are these people that are in my life really helping me? Are they a good influence on me? Because you are who you become. That is the real truth about being a high value woman. You can do all the things you need to do for you, right? You can do those internal things. You can make external changes, but your surroundings play on your subconscious mind. That's what people are not telling you. At whatever you are around, even if it's what you're watching on TV, if it's the conversations that you're having, if you have friends that gossip and kiki every time that they get a chance, those people are not going to push you to where you really want to be. They're going to hold you back. Because how is that helping you advance in your career? How is that helping you advance in your mindset? So as you are evaluating these people, I also want you to keep in mind, perfection does not exist with friendships, right? We may be close one day, we may move into another cycle or stage. It is all okay, but you need to decide who goes where within that pyramid. Okay, next thing, I want you to make your adjustments to your friendships, but you don't have to share it with them. I understand, at least for me, years ago, I used to try to be very transparent and super direct with my friends, like, hey, this is bothering me. Let's work on this. Everybody is not at that level, and sometimes just having that discretion for yourself is better than causing a long-term conflict. Some people may not respond the way you think they will. They may, like for me, if someone says, hey, it kind of hurt my feelings when you did XYZ, I'm more so like, oh, I didn't know you felt that way. Well, this is what I meant by this, and I'm so sorry that happened. Let's work on this. Everyone is not solution oriented. Everyone is not focused on solving problems. So sometimes it's better to keep that to yourself and just make your moves and adjust people where they go in your pyramid of the people that you are around. Now, the next thing I do want to say, as you are making those adjustments, I want to be clear. As a high value woman, people need to earn their spot on your team. Let that sink in. Who are you letting on your team or in your corporation that shouldn't be there? So again, I held up a pyramid, okay? Think about a pyramid. This is the entry level at the bottom. Do you have people that are at the top of your pyramid that should really be at the entry level? Are you moving people up too fast in your corporation? That's not high value. It takes time for people to move up that pyramid. It takes work. And if people are not willing to put in that work for your friendship, for your success, for whatever it is that you are trying to achieve, then that says everything that you need to know. We all deserve to have the support that we need from those people around us, because if you're high value, you're already giving that to others. It's time to pour back into yourself as well. Reciprocity is everything in 2025. That is how you become high value. And that is how you know your value to others. If they are reciprocating, they may not do the same exact thing as you. That's not what I'm saying. But they're matching that energy. They're showing that love in whatever way that they know how to do it. Reciprocity is going to share with you, you know what? This person values me. You know what? I'm important to them. That is how we have to move in 2025. So, listen, here's what I want you to do. A couple things. I want you to create your vision within your pyramid. So everyone, if you were just jumping in, hello, welcome. I'm really excited to have you. This is going to be a great opportunity for you to learn about being high value and attracting those high value friends and environments and communities to help you thrive and grow. So listen, we're going to go in and create our vision. Now, if you have your journal out, I want you to think about each relationship that you have on this pyramid, because we have to nurture these relationships and we have to see, okay, how do I want them to grow? So we're planting those seeds, and then we're going to nourish it with our sunlight, our water, which is our actions, what we're doing every day, because we want to build the right community and tribe around us. This is how our high value begins to increase over time. Your value, another part of your value, is your network. And a lot of people don't talk about that, but when you have a strong network, it creates more value. It creates your net worth. Always remember that. So, with that being said, as you're casting your vision, I want you to think about a couple things. Number one, what are your own personal standards for yourself as a friend and for the others that you are serving in the friendships, okay, or relationships? All right. Number two, what boundaries do you want to put in place? What are you not willing to tolerate from a friend? Be clear on that, because previously you may have tolerated anything from anyone in your friendships or your relationships. You let things slide very easily. Or on the opposite end of that, you could have been impatient, not wanting to work with people, right? Now you're like, you know what? I really want to give people a chance. I was on the defense. Now I want to kind of let things take my time. Don't go in too fast, okay? Now, the third thing is I want you to think about the mindset that your relationships, what is it like? What is that mindset of yourself as well as those that are around you? For me, I like baddies. I like women who are literally living their lives. They are living in a way that feels good to them. They are trying to get to the next level within themselves, in their careers, in their businesses. They're not just sitting around. They don't just talk about what they're going to do. They actually put in that work. They are doing what they have to do to make things better for themselves and those around them. That's the mindset that my high value women in my life have. The next thing too is with that vision that you're creating for the people you want around you is that you're realistic. You know, life happens and there are going to be life changes. We want to give people grace. We want to give ourselves grace and understand that we are all doing our best. And so cast that vision with things in mind like, okay, you know, did your friend just get married? Have things kind of changed in their lives? You know, do they have different things going on that could be stopping them from being that high value person in your life? You know, reach out to them. Be a person of character, integrity, and love, because that's what high value is. And when you step into that, you're always going to have a strong network that is going to uplift you. So, lastly, I want to talk to you about aligning yourself to the vision, because I think all of us want to have these high value friends and we think they're just going to drop out of the sky. And that's usually not how it goes. So we need to actually get around the right people, okay? So for me, the past couple years, I've gotten around the right people by being in like online communities like what we have here. I have also taken the time to work in Facebook groups, you know, meeting new people. I have been online with social media at I am JL Thomas on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You know, some of my greatest friends are on there. But now as I'm stepping back out into the workspace where I'm going to be going in, you know, working and consulting every day, I'm actually able to make friends within organizations. I'm going to be joining back up in those, just getting to know people and going out more. So I'm really excited about that aspect of my life. And that's what you want to make sure that you are doing. I think with the pandemic, a lot of us grew those online communities, which is amazing to meet those high high value people, but I would recommend going out in person, really just getting to make those connections, meeting up. And I want you to think about at least 2 or 3 ways where you can put yourself in a situation to meet more high value people. The more high value people you have around you, the more you're going to be high value. That's just the way it goes. So rub shoulders with those people. If that means you need to get into a country club, if you need to get into a particular organization based on your career, because if you want those types of people. But remember, as you've decided your standards, your boundaries, all of those things, add those details. For me, I like having friends that are in education. I like having people that are in the online world. I enjoy having people that are in, other things with personal development or whatever. Create different places for your friends to come in, because your friends may not be an all-encompassing friend that has all of those things. Find your communities in different areas so that way you feel the most supported and the most understood, because one person is not going to give you every single thing that you would want in those high value friendships and those environments. It's about balance. It's about community. And so that is what is going to propel you forward in being high value. So I will take any questions that if you have any, if you're tuning in, I am taking any questions. I'm also going to comment on this aspect as well. Being high value sometimes can get this reputation that you are seemingly better than others. And I think that high value is actually a beautiful thing, because being high value is not about this pedestal of yourself and others. It's really about you being the best version of yourself and taking all within you and bringing it externally to where people can see what it is you bring into the table. And that is what we want to do. We want to get around people that see us for who we are and value what we have. And from there, we are able to create the communities and the people we want to be around so we can grow. As I mentioned an example with Tia Mari and her friends, there are plenty of other areas that I've seen people around the wrong crowds. How can you be high value and your crowd is not going where you are going? We all have our own paths. We all have the things that we want to achieve, but we need to get around the right people. If you have questions about becoming high value, share them down in the chat. I'm going to stay on. I'm happy to help and support you in your journey of becoming more valuable. So again, our environments, and let's say that, you don't have any particular friends right now that you feel are high value. Listen, you can look at my TikTok videos at I am JL Thomas. I'm here on YouTube. You can go in and check out anything. And of course, the podcast, The Money Goddess, is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Listen to people, right, that have that wisdom, that have that expertise. I would also encourage you, if there's someone's book that you would be interested in, whatever it is, that's going to help you as well to get to know those people's ideas. I do this all the time. Listen, I check out Neville Goddard's podcast. I'm looking into Lori Lux. She has a YouTube channel as well. I consider her a high value woman. Check those people out as well, because when you are surrounding yourself, listening to those different things, it's going to change your mindset and you are going to elevate. You're going to succeed. You're going to prosper, because it's like everything around you is going to shift. And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to have. So I don't see any questions in particular about this, but I'm going to go ahead and get off. I have a couple things that are coming up. I want to thank you all for listening into this episode. I'm really excited to talk more topics like this. You can email me, shesworthy2017@gmail.com, if you have any other topics that you might be interested in discussing so that I can help you to advance yourself in 2025. There are so many good things that are going to happen to you in this new year. I love you guys so much.